TJ Jefferson, good to see you.
Is it, though?
It's great to see you. Why would you say that?
It's great to see you. Do you want to be seen?
Well, these guys,
First of all,
our fans don't get to hear pre-show. I was taking a lot of guff, as they say.
Well, you deserve it.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to see you here.
Well, I appreciate that.
Of course, because not only do I know that you are healthy and well in these
this
crazy
is going to take
times,
a bad turn. I can feel it.
And I know that that our social media is got you at the helm, and
it's coming.
It's great to see you.
And you also know that I don't have COVID. Because I wouldn't.
I know that. That's why I said healthy and well. Yeah. I know, and you went to the forum this very weekend, and you're healthy and well, and I'm great to see that.
Kobe did. Okay, but here comes the but, folks.
No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's not the right one. You know the right one, Mike.
I know. I want to just make TJ feel a little happy.
No. You played the wrong one.
No, I didn't. I did that on purpose.
Play the correct one, please.
How about that? I want him to feel a little better for a second.
I don't, man.
I did.
Well, the gentleman who provides those drops. Not you, but that audio drop of play it one more time, please. Here, this is what happened.
How about the Cowboys?
That gentleman will be joining us in hour number 3. I booked him. I texted him the moment I saw his fantastic, brilliant latest video trolling on the Dallas Cowboys moments after their latest remarkable comeback. Born out of an absolute defensive collapse. Fell short because Odell Beckham Jr. came up with his second eye-popping touchdown of the day.
Wow.
First, when he corralled a pass from Jarvis Landry.
Oh, how about the dime by Landry?
I mean,
well, Landry throws dimes whenever they pull that play out of the bag o' tricks, whoever's coaching the Browns.
Yeah, I wish we had their bag o' tricks.
And, well, look, here's the deal. You've got a hell of a quarterback who has filed a 400-yard passing game because the team fell flat defensively, and then a 400-yard passing game that was required to almost win the game because the team fell flat defensively, and a 500-yard passing game because the team fell flat defensively. And everybody's catching passes from Dak. I mean, name somebody. I know Gallup didn't have a big statistical day, but name somebody, and they're catching passes from Dak or attempting to and dropping it. But I told you, folks, and I'm not an I told you so guy. I will always admit when I raise my hand here and I am wrong as I opinionate in this chair. But
I've seen you do it.
I have told you prior to the season when I reluctantly named the Dallas Cowboys as my choice to win the NFC East because I looked at the landscape and wasn't overly impressed with anybody else. But I told you when you were, folks out there, I'm not looking at you because I know you had your doubts, TJ, but all you Dallas honks and stands, is that the okay,
Yep.
You Cowboys stands out there.
The audacity.
I told all of you all, or all y'all, that the back end of the defense was a big problem, and the Cowboys knew it because they were just loading up on as many pass rushes as they could get their hands on. And they can't stop anybody. And the Browns wisely, when Dak went 14 of 15 for almost 200 yards passing in the first quarter alone, they wisely took, yes, I'll say it again, my advice. Wisely took my advice when I said in 4 downs earlier this week, the Browns have one of the best running games in the National Football League because of that offensive line and Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And Chubb went out, and I'll be looking at you, Chris, for an update on his status throughout the 3 hours of the show, unless you already have one.
I got one if you want it. Looks like he's going to go to IR with an MCL injury per Kevin Stefanski.
Okay, so it's not an ACL with an IR for the rest of the year. It's an MCL.
MCL looks probably in the 4 to 6 week range.
Well, then it's now time for Ernest Johnson, who I had never heard of, quite frankly, before he ran for 100 yards against Dallas while trying to run out the clock when Kareem Hunt wasn't on the field. So it's now Kareem Hunt's going to start, and this young kid from South Florida is going to start running the ball, and why not?
And he looked good.
Because this offensive line is pretty damn good. Giving Baker Mayfield time, and the running game is exactly what the Browns needed, and that's how they built the lead. But then Dak starts throwing it all over the lot, and they're catching passes, and it looks like they're coming back again until I still just don't understand why they didn't kick it deep.
Oh,
and they put the ball on its side again and tried another weird onside kick attempt to steal a possession when I thought, okay, you're now within a field goal now. Let's play defense. But
and all the momentum.
But again, momentum means one thing, but having a set of eyes and knowing that the defense is a liability is another. And it's amazing how quickly things can change in the NFL and how quickly just narratives can switch from one locker room to another. In the same way that the Philadelphia Eagles, when they started flat and they tied Cincinnati at home, and the whole city is going nuts because they're 0-2-1, and Carson Wentz can't get his you-know-what together, and he has mechanical issues, as Kurt Warner said he's had for a couple of years. And Greg Cosell came on the show and said the film shows that Wentz is not seeing everything very well, and his mechanics indeed are off. And then one single Sunday night drive, essentially, to another guy I had never heard of before. Fulham, the G is silent, correct? And
I think so, yeah.
He goes up top. Travis Fulham? Is that Travis Fulham? My apologies to the Fulhams or the Fulghams. The Fulghams.
Do you think Wentz ever heard of him before?
Well, here's the interesting thing is Wentz said after the game they had repped that play and his route together one single time. And he told him as they were huddling up before that pass down the left sideline that Fulham grabbed in and then made a great catch and tightrope to get into the end zone.
That's tight.
Wentz said he told the kid as they're beginning to huddle up, essentially, remember that play that we repped? We might run that right here. And then they did, and they executed it. And now the Eagles are in first place at 1-2-1. Wow. The Nick Mullins might take Jimmy G's gig storyline and narrative that had legs in the media for about a week.
Yeah, great week for that.
That's
story.
all done because he threw a dreadful pick six and did not look like he had mastery of the offense as well or better than Jimmy G, as my buddy Kurt Warner said on game day morning on Sunday morning, and he took a lot of grief. As a matter of fact, before I came on the air today, looked down at my buzzing phone. It's the intra game day morning text chain between the four of us guys and our producing staff, if you will. Michael Irvin took a screen grab of somebody who added Michael and Kurt, and I guess some more of us, I had not seen this, wondering if Kurt should put down the edibles. Michael Irvin took a screen grab of that saying, usually I get this a lot sent to me, but not you, Kurt. Because Nick did not look very well. And now all of a sudden, just like that, it's the Dallas Cowboys who are sitting there and saying, yeah, we started slow. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Yeah, we've got a lot of problems. Yeah, there's a lot to fix. But guess what? We're only a half game out of first place in the NFC East.
Right where they want them.
Because the Giants haven't won a game, and the Washington football team has not won a game since they surprised Philadelphia in a big comeback in week 1. So there's that. As a matter of fact, the 3 wins in the NFC East are Philadelphia's game last night against Nick Mullins trying to avert a disastrous loss at the hands of C.J. Beathard, as my oldest Xander, who is killing it in fantasy while Dad is dying on the vine in that department, he looks at me, he goes, Dad, is that the backup to the backup? I'm like, yes, son, it is. And C.J. Beathard almost had the comeback win. Philadelphia survives that. That's one win for the Eagles.
That's
Washington's
pathetic.
one win is at the expense of the Eagles, and the Cowboys' one win is because Atlanta stared at a fidget spinner of an onside kick. And that's it. That's your National Football Conference Eastern Division, so-called money division. I mean, if that's the money division, then we need to talk about the valuation of money.
I mean, that's 13 Super Bowl championships, and that is pathetic. That's just horrible.
See, but that's yesterday's news, bud.
Well,
and that's the whole thing about the Dallas Cowboys is they were supposed to be today's news. They were supposed to be tomorrow's news. And they are currently, figuratively, yesterday's news. Because we're going to see tonight the Green Bay Packers. Okay? We're going to see tonight the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to see tonight what I promise you, despite the fact that they literally just boarded a plane, or they might be boarding a plane right now. They might be like right now.
They're in the air right now.
N'Keal Harry may be adjusting the chair and putting his tray table in the upright position. I think they're literally taking off right now for Kansas City. The New England Patriots are playing the world champs tonight in a game that, as of yesterday morning, they didn't know if they were going to play. And they are, in fact, going to play it by traveling to the city in which they are playing it on the same day in which they are playing it without their starting quarterback and easily best player, and watch them with Brian Hoyer tonight give Kansas City a game in the manner that Dallas has not been able to provide on most of occasions this year. Watch that tonight. Seriously. So that's why I'm saying they're yesterday's news. Look at Seattle. Seattle going from west to east twice now. Twice in a pandemic. Once, yes, beating Atlanta, but another one honestly, how many people's house of horrors is Miami? It's yours.
Oh, for sure.
New England.
For
It's
sure
mine.
it's New England.
For the Jets. And yesterday, just once again, the Dolphins with the moxie and
hanging around,
the settling of field goals. I'm like literally, and I love Seattle, yelling at the screen like, come on, just go. Like, you got to put it in the air. Look at Seattle. The Rams had a tough time against the Giants. At occasion, there was more fight in the Rams after the game.
Nice.
Thank you. So, yeah, how about them Cowboys? At this point in time, the only reason why we're talking about it is the Dallas Cowboys. And the fact that Dak Prescott, because Jerry wouldn't sign him long term. What did I tell you, Chris? I'm on a what did I tell you roll today. What did I tell you? What did I tell you throughout the entire non-playing season? If Dallas wouldn't sign him and he was a free agent, he would be snapped up in 2 seconds flat, given the market value of any top-notch quarterback hitting the open market. And well, why? Because he's next up? I'm like, yeah, because he's next up and because he has shown the ability. Guy's thrown. This guy's going to have 6,000 yards passing this year.
It's also a product of their defense sucking.
True, but the reason why they're even 1-3 and had a chance to maybe be 3-1 is because of this guy. He's doing all he can. He's looking around, like looking up at the scoreboard that you can't miss because it's in 15 different places, hanging from 15 different things in that stadium. And you're like, oh my, we're doing this again?
Also, CeeDee Lamb is so good.
CeeDee Lamb is good. Gallup is good. Cooper's good. Zeke is good. Dak is good. Come on now.
Get your damn act together.
That's what they got to say. And again, we are going to have a conversation with Peter King's going to join us in just a few minutes' time, because that is the storyline here. And you know, and again, Baltimore with a nice bounce back win. The Bills go to Vegas and start putting the bang thing on another team as Josh Allen looks spectacular. My guy and Kyler Murray has now lost 2 in a row. Good win for Carolina. Tom Brady. We didn't even mention Tom Brady at age 96 throwing 5 touchdowns, including a pick 6, which clearly the Bucs can't quit. A number of times that I'm sure Bruce Arians is just looking at the football god saying, really, again? But as Bruce Arians pointed out after the game yesterday, this was something we would have lost by 20 last year. Right. Tom Brady decided to wing it all over the lot. And again, We could talk about teams that are doing what they need to do without. No Godwin. Mike Evans is walking around like Fred G. Sanford trying to catch passes. No Fournette. No big what? I'm going to throw 5 touchdown passes because I'm Tom friggin' Brady. As O.J. Howard's Achilles put him on a cart. Dallas is pretty damn healthy at the offensive spot, man. I mean, like, honestly, like, what's...
This is what I'm saying, though. Like, all these great stories that you've just talked about that we could be talking about, we're talking about a 1-3 team that doesn't deserve the real estate that we're giving them.
Because they're the
right
Dallas
now.
Cowboys, and we do pay attention to them quite a bit because of many reasons. Because of, number one, they're the Dallas Cowboys. Number two, Jerry Jones is one of the most front and center entertaining owners who does put together a talented team and an entertaining team. And number three, there are so many people in this world like you. You're everywhere. Cowboys fans are everywhere. You're absolutely everywhere. But, you know, with what's going on defense, here's what they need to do. They need to do 2 things, 3 things. 1, call up Earl Thomas.
That's not going to help.
How's Earl Thomas not going to help? You need some help on the back of your end of your defense. And if Earl Thomas cannot pull it together and go on the Dallas Cowboys, then this is the other thing that they should do. They should get Dr. Conley from Walter Reed and diagnose him and be all sorts of rosy, all right, and tell us things that we don't need to know.
Well, old Dr. Jones with my rubber glove is going to make sure every one of you are safe.
And put him in the beast and get him to Dallas.
Yeah.
Or figure something else out. I have no idea what the other else out is. I just don't know.
Just don't use Marine One.
I do not know.
Helicopter.
I have no earthly idea.
SUV.
But they're 1-3. But hey, only a half game out. And they play the Giants next week. Now then. Oh, boy. That's a big one. You throw records out when teams like that get together. And please, throw all the records out in the NFC East right now. But the Eagles, of all teams, they're the ones sitting pretty. After September, they don't want to relive ever again. Oh, my gosh. Oof. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.